Ancient and modern China. Ancient Shenzhen basic needs. Back in the old days, basic needs such as water, food, and clothing was harder to make and find. For example, people had to make homemade clothes. Food was scarce because of the limited animals. Water was rare in some places because they were far away from oceans and rivers. Technology. Back in the old days, their technologies wasn't high-tech like ours. In fact, they only had basic technology like ink holders with brushes and horse-dragged wagons. In China now, they make computers, cell phones, and even ATMs. Family structure. Since there was a harder source of basic needs and wants, there was a harder life for families. Back in that time, families had to live in one house and live with the limited resources. Economy. Now there is currency that can be printed, but did you ever think about the old days? They had to make the money by hand. There was less jobs and that meant less money. The Chinese made coins with metal and brass, and it was really heavy. Government. The Chinese had to have a government group to lead the Chinese to success, but the government had to behave differently in order to meet the people's needs. The government had to construct a relationship with the city/country, then find the basic needs and wants for the people. This was more or less what the government did. Leisure. The Chinese did not have a lot of leisure time, especially the adults. But when they did, they drew pictures, ate food, played with the other kids, and played homemade games. If this was not fun enough, they played with the cows and the animals in the barn and wrote on them or walked them around. Beliefs. The Chinese believed in dragons and their power to lead the world. Everyone had to believe in something. They had to make tools to make their beliefs either come true or up and running. Communication. Back in the old days, they did not have cell phones to call, so they talked face to face and maybe with a gramophone. The way the gramophone worked was it played a CD or record over and over, amplifying the sound. If they want to make a signal, they make a record with the message and then let the gramophone do the rest of the work. Geography and environment. A city cannot thrive without the land, water, and geography of their area. A lot of Chinese villages thrived because of the location of the village. The best place is somewhere next to trees with enclosure and easy access to food, shelter, and water. Shenzhen has been thriving because of the climate that the environment produces. Education. For a kid to grow up and be a good leader, they have to have education. The education needs to be strong, and only the best can have the good education that every child needs. Sometimes this is considered a basic need because of the impact that the education gives off on the children.